All right, welcome back to another episode of the Dark Dungeon of Pop Culture, the Jabba's Dungeon podcast, with as always, Chad, Avery, Tyler, and myself. Boys, another episode, another week. This episode, we're going to be covering probably one of the most unhinged films we've went over so far. Um, I don't know how I've gone so long in my life without seeing this, but genuinely, because it's got so many quotable moments. It has just the most batshit kind of like balls to the wall. Tyler described it really good. Tyler, like in the comparison of Toxic Avenger, which is what we're covering, to like the 1990 Captain America, how did you kind of describe it to me? Because I was thinking like this is the fucking wackiest thing I've ever seen. Like, how could you kind of describe the two?
Um, you mean like I said, the Captain America is more like the 1990s movie is bad, bad.
Hmm.
This is bad, good.
Yes.
That's
Like you were saying, like the 1990 Cap is like, which wholeheartedly agree because I was watching that shit on like two times speed. Boring as fuck. So boring. And Toxic Avenger is like sweaty nutsack getting slapped in your fucking forehead like from the jump, and you're just like flashbanged with just like the most like heinous stuff you could see at that time. Like it is so
well
insane. Like
now.
dude, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I was like what, like 1984 or something like that. So like the stuff they were doing, I mean, there were fucking children getting killed in like the first like 10 minutes. There are questionable like characters getting assaulted, profiling of different ethnicities and or
I
disabilities, the blind, the mentally disabled. There's no punches pulled.
When I was watching it, my girlfriend was like beside me, not like really paying attention. But like the way that like me and her thought about it, it reminded me of like Terrifier, but in the '90s or the '80s.
You watched it with your girlfriend?
Yeah, she was over there doing homework,
That's
and
fucking awesome.
I'm like, this is a little crazy. And then the opening like kind of part, she was like, what are
Mhm.
you watching? I'm like, oh, it's just the Toxic Avenger.
Mhm.
So
it's for the Marvel Knights program.
yeah,
Bro, because you're jumping into Toxic Avenger, it is like I was like, okay, like I was at first thinking, okay, this might just be bad, because you got like just like the 80s pop music and like all of these people in this like gym, like super horny, like
Mhm.
working out, and it was just very like off-putting at first. And then fucking bro, we're introduced to Melvin, and Melvin is just like the biggest fucking goober ever.
Yeah.
And it's just oh my god,
Reminds you of SpongeBob in a way, kind of.
he does, and he's just throwing his mop around, just not even paying attention where he's throwing his mop.
He'd be turning around a lot more later.
Yeah. There's lots of tits in this movie.
There's lots of tits, and I love the two like hit and run bros. Like I can't even remember their name. It's like fucking like Spike and Puke. It's some like crazy ass names. And like I love whenever he's like doing like some presses or something, and the one guy's like, "You're getting a little flabby down there," and he's like, "I'm not getting flabby." And then he like pinches like a small love handle, and he's like, "I'm getting fat," and it's just like. I swear to God, it feels like everybody in this fucking movie took like a line of coke before they started filming.
I
Yeah.
love like when we're introduced to like when Melvin's doing his mopping and like those jockheads are like in the hot tub
Hmm.
and this the meeting's just like that fucking Melvin fucking loser. I want to kick you like just for Melvin just being like
Yo,
They're
but
dropping they're dropping some fucked up shit. They're just like, I fucking hate that mother.
let's be honest though, motherfucker was like mopping from like the pool and shit. Like
He was throwing the mop onto people's heads, and they're
Yeah.
like, "God damn, I can't stand that fucking Melvin."
Dude had it coming.
God. And the way, first of all, whenever actually, goddamn, there's so much unhinged shit. It's hard to like recall, but I do remember the one like secondary jock. Whenever him and his girlfriend just started fucking in the locker room, and like Melvin was like mopping and just came around the corner, was just like,
Yeah.
just like getting his fucking rocks off, and they're just like, "Ah, Melvin, you pervert, get out of here!" And it's just so perfect. It's so silly.
Like, I think the first like moment when I watched it the first time, when I went like, "What am I watching?" It's like I believe it's like right after we're introduced there at the gym. We get the shot of like the drive-bys, the girls in the back seat, and they run over the kid, and they go out there and they're like taking pictures of him, you know, and then what? 5 minutes after that, the whole uh, transformation scenes going on with Melvin. So when they run over the kid, one of the girls are like, "This is some sick shit." I love the way they look on the photograph. So you just killed this kid, and then 5 minutes later, Melvin's like possessed with toxic waste and like deforming, and she's like, "I don't know, I don't like this," and I'm like, "Your morals
Jumping a
are
little bit
pretty screwed."
ahead, these chicks are fucking crazy because there's the one chick in like the sauna, and she's literally flicking her bean
Yeah.
to the deceased child on the photos. Like, and I'm talking like his head is like a watermelon. Like, the effects they done on that are fucking incredible because I was just like, oh my God. Whenever they ran over his head, I was just
They
like,
ran over a kid.
wow.
Mm.
They used a kid for filming. Like,
What it looked like.
Fucking cadaver.
Bro, and just like, yeah, them like they get off on the photos, and the guys are just like, oh, the one guy is like, he's like, I'm stressed out, man. I need something to get the edge off. And he's just like, he's resorted to hit and runs, manslaughter. That's the way he blows off stress. And I'm just like, all right, bro.
real.
I looked
Yeah,
at their names. It's Bozo and Slug.
I was thinking it was Bozo.
Bozo being your nickname is actually insane.
It is, yeah.
So we get our boy Melvin. He's my king. He's my goat. He's about to fuck the blonde-haired chick, or so he thinks. And the blonde-haired chick is like, "Hey, Melvin, if you put on pink, I'll take off my pink." And she flashes her titties, and she's like, "Here, Melvin, put on this like pink tutu." And it reminded me of like the thing that fucking Tear or whatever his fucking name from Fantastic Planet, like that like little like fairy
Oh.
shit that they wore.
Mhm.
He reminded me of that guy from Fantastic Planet, and
Yeah.
he thinks he's about to get some ass in this fucking tutu outfit, which
I was kind
I
of rooting
mean,
for him. I was like, go fucking
yeah,
Melvin, let's go.
Melvin, oh, 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 oh.
Let's go.
But he pulls up to the like to the pool, and all the lights are out, and he's just like, "Oh, mom," and the lights flip on, and he's like fucking fucking kissing a sheep, and they add like the stock like "Meh," and everybody's laughing at him. He runs and fucking falls out a window into a vat of acid, and just everybody's laughing at him, and I'm just like, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen.
I love the truck drivers. One of them talks about like stopping a little before then. The driver's like, "No, our boss doesn't allow us to stop in residential populated areas due to the fact that we have toxic waste."
And then their fucking faces are just like funnel cakes of cocaine.
Yeah, just straight up coke. Like there is no protection on those things whatsoever. It's just
Yeah, no
open
lid.
fucking toxic
Bubble
waste.
No lid is crazy. One slight turn and it's a disaster. It's Chernobyl. And then our boy Melvin turns into fucking basically Bill Bixby, Incredible Hulk, but the Toxic Avenger.
When he's back at his mom's house, and the mom's like outside the door asking about him, and then like is there like a loud noise or like when the steam starts like rolling up front of the door? She's like, he's puberty.
God, when that happened, like when I saw her face like smile, I was like, I know her ass is gonna say something about him hitting puberty. Fucking jeez. And then he beats up what's that dude's name? Like Cigar Face and his other boys. Which that was pretty insane. It's like one thing about this movie, which Tyler was kind of talking on, he started the second one and kind of seems more or less like it's bad. I wonder if they continue this pattern or if like the budget just like restricts it, but like the fight scenes in this movie were pretty fucking solid. Like all the action scenes were like really well done, I feel like.
The little bit I've seen of the second one, I don't know what the budget is, but I would say it's actually better than
Budget
the first
wise.
movie.
Mhm.
The boxes in this movie have to be paid actors though, because there's somebody getting thrown onto a pile of boxes like left
Or a
and right.
car driving through like a mountain of like cardboard boxes.
Yeah,
Dude,
like during the alleyway fight, it's like one after another. Just like when he ripped their like scalps,
Yeah, he rips
I
their
think off
scalps
there
off.
in the alleyway.
Yeah.
I was looking because I was like, oh, I wonder if they got any like figures of Toxic Avenger and like what they would look like. I know Walmart had theirs at one point, and it's probably not going to show up the best on camera, but I'll try to show it real quick. Like it's just, oh, show damn you! Look at that.
That's like Super 7, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know they made it, but I knew about the Walmart one, but I didn't know about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy.
I looked because I was curious about the budget. The budget for the first one was $500,000.
Mm.
Budget for the second one was $2.3 million.
And
Wow.
whoa,
What about the third? Does it get better or worse?
That's the real question.
Let me look.
there's a
That's
third one.
actually the real question. Bro, there's four.
Well,
There's
I guess 5,
4?
including the new
What
one.
the? Oh, okay. I was about to say. I was like, holy shit! Like,
No, there's a part 4, like an early part 4. That's the one that Stan Lee's in.
Yeah, I think there's the first one and the second one. I want to say the fourth one came out in the early 2000s.
I legit thought it was just the first and second one. I'm gonna have to run through them all. Fucking toxic April boys.
The third one was $500,000.
Oh, so yeah.
Oh god, the
that
fall off is crazy.
They were like, "Well, you're back to ground one."
Yeah.
And then 4 was also $500,000.
Oh, so they gave up. They're
Okay.
like, yeah.
Okay. 4, keep in mind, Toxic Avenger 4. Not only did they have Stan Lee as the prologue / epilogue narrator, they had Ron Jeremy.
There's no
as the
fucking way.
there. Yes, a movie where there's Ron Jeremy and Stan Lee. What the actual hell?
That's
It
weird.
also
as
says James
fuck.
Gunn is in it as well.
Right. Of course.
Wow.
In part 4.
See, I just like I wonder because the one thing that it might be in the later fucking trilogy of this movie apparently, but in the trailer of the new one where he has like the toxic mop and he swings it at the guy's jaw and it just kind of like slides away. I don't know if that's like used in the later movies or not, but I was kind of wondering about that kind of lore about it unless they're changing it all up. They're gonna have to since it's kind of like they're trading a disability. It kind of seems like in a way.
Wait, there's
Yeah.
a fifth one?
I know that sounds horrible to say, but like I mean,
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's
like,
it's
better words,
kind
yeah.
of the truth, but
Mhm.
I
And
still haven't watched the trailer for the new one coming out.
I saw that Red Band thing where they like kind of done like the diner deal again.
oh, okay. That
Have
might
y'all not
be
seen
what the mop part is because it was like a snippet.
that?
So I didn't
might
watch
have
that one.
been.
I'm interested.
I'm really interested. I mean, I'm excited to see what they can do with like a higher budget and just, they got all those movies that had happened, and just years upon years of thinking on what you could do with it. So I'd be interested to see what they can do.
Yeah. Peter Dinklage.
The yeah, Peter Dinklage. I do love the scene where like the gang is trying to like rob or just hold up that taco place.
Yeah.
That guy, he's like, "Oh, what are you doing, little baby? Do you like Mexican, little baby? How would you like to get fucking blown away, little baby?" And it's like they're actually holding a gun to this child, and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The one guy who's like, "Stop this nonsense. Take me as the hostage."
And he flies back like 15 feet, and then the dog, what does he say, Tyler?
He's like, "This bitch is blind. This bitch got a dog."
And then the guy just lifts up the shotgun.
Dude.
He just flies back. I'm like, fuck.
He's like,
and then he's like, she's like fucking crying because her dog just got shot. And he's like, don't worry. We can settle this over with Ben. And she's like, Ben who? And he's like, bend over, bitch. And I'm just like, yes, this is the best movie ever.
he's like, I love. He's like, "I always wanted to cornhole a blind bitch."
That's insane. That is criminal.
Honestly, that gang was probably like one of the better parts of the movie, dude. It's so fucking good.
Oh my God, bro.
Dude, that too. Sorry, you good.
Sorry, no, you're fine. You're fine.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, when Toxic pulls up, why does this taco place just have katanas on the wall?
Did
I
they?
didn't even think of that. What the hell? What the fuck?
Dude,
I
whenever
forget if Tim or one of those guys, but it's just up there. It's like,
I didn't even question it. It's the crazy thing.
I wonder what the taco shop was called. Maybe it like had something to do with it, but the one
I think it was
thing.
just called like the taco place.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It was something simple.
The fucking cops, man. Every time when everybody was like killed and everything, they're all fucking eating tacos. They just don't give a fuck.
They're like, I got a one well done over here. It's the dude that's like in the oven. He's just, and then the other guy that's like dropping the crumbs onto the fucking body. He takes the one fuck who shot the dog, which he deserved this for sure. He like made a sundae out of his face. That was actually incredible. Like just so much whipped cream, and then just stuck them in the blender. Very good, very good. One thing that like was giving me the biggest like icky was the one taco worker who just like kept constantly like, I just could not stop looking at his belly button because there was lettuce in his belly button, and I'm like, you sick fuck.
What
Like, do
the
you think
fuck?
they gave him this direction?
I didn't know that. Oh my god.
Did you see it, Tyler?
I'm sorry, the Mojo ripped out my audio cord, so a little bit of what you said I didn't catch. But are you talking
There
about
was the
guy
one big boy that had the lettuce
down his
in his
pants?
fucking belly
Yeah.
button, bro.
Oh, I thought the one that had like was reaching down his pants. Is that the same guy?
There's two of them.
Bro,
I swear I remember
maybe.
somebody reaching down his pants for shit. It's like right before the gang comes in.
That was just me, bro. I was just going in.
Bro.
Like,
And whenever he becomes the Toxic Avenger, he's just got like this Superman ass like Chad voice. He's just like, fucking, no need to worry. And he saves the blind lady and brings her back to her crib, and then doesn't he seal the deal right there? Don't they fuck?
Dude, it was so crazy how fast this fucking movie was. Like, they just sped run their whole relationship. I was just like, what is going on at this point?
I love whenever so they get back and she's got like all her blonde canes like up on this
Yeah.
like mantle. I forget that's whenever like her hand goes and like either grabs his junk or like hits him.
The cane hits his junk, and then she's trying to feel around for his like face or something, and then she just like grabs a handful of bulge, and she's just like, "Oh,
Toxic
whoops."
meat.
Oh no! Like her just like literally. You take someone like shoot, what's his name that plays Daredevil?
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox, yeah. Take somebody like him who is like down into the role, which obviously it's different tones. But I look at him and I'm like, this man's actually blind.
Yes.
This girl's method of portraying blind is just, I'm just gonna look away from the camera.
Dude, now you bring that up, I can't look at Charlie Cox the same. I swear to God, it's implanted in my brain that he's actually blind because he plays it off so
Same.
well. Like every movie that he plays in that I see like little snippets, I'm like, that motherfucker's blind. I know it, but he's crazy.
Anytime they
That's
get
why he
pictures of him
lost.
like out in public, he looks just
He
like,
looks
so
blind.
dazed.
He looks blind. Motherfucker
That's
has
why he
blind
lost
eyes.
the role to play Han in Solo.
Oh, was he
That
gonna
off
be?
movie. Yeah, he had a interview where he talked about that he had a casting for the movie and he was told he didn't get it, and it was around the time that he was filming Daredevil, I guess season 3, like kind of in that time period. And I'm pretty sure he was like, yeah, I kind of like went through my entire audition and kind of forgot I wasn't playing a blind character.
Oh shit.
So, and then so we got whatever his name is,
Yeah,
Alden
I would have.
Eric Craig.
I would have liked to seen what that would have been like. I do like the guy that played Han, though. I'm not gonna lie, the young Han. I feel like a lot of people grew to him, and I do like that movie.
Well, did he really miss out on much not being able to star in that? I mean, just like box office and critical wise.
True,
to
yeah.
pot.
Got fucking buried.
Very much so. It trips me out whenever I hear him talk and he's British.
Yeah.
That's just me.
In episode 5 of Born Again, when he fakes the Irish accent, I'm also like, what is this man?
So yeah, Toxie fucks. I was gonna comment on his cum, but after last week's episode,
No. Let's comment on his cum.
Please,
no,
do the duties because it was in your Letterboxd review. He actually used Letterboxd, everybody.
Hey, that's a shot. That's fucked up.
Oh.
No, but I did have a question because you do see him pissing against a wall, and it's like steamy and like kind of like acid. I did have the question in my head that if that is like his liquids now inside of him, what the fuck is he turning the blind woman's shit into, dude? Like, I mean, it's crazy.
I feel like his cum would be like kind of like the same as like sulfuric acid.
I was thinking of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the ooze.
Ooh, the ooze.
So he kind of like so it's just gonna turn into like a Venus flytrap down there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah, we had a pretty sexual episode last time.
Which it shouldn't have been, but somehow
It shouldn't have been, but
yeah, it was all Tyler's fault.
Yeah. Hey, we're just trying to fight people, and then God forbid we have romance.
Yeah, we just fucked them.
And God, bro, whenever that big ass mare was getting massaged on his table and was eating a fucking like cold cut sandwich, I was about to gag because he was like dripping that shit all over the fucking massage table. That's all I got. That was just hard to watch. A tough watch.
It was. That was probably the one scene that I did feel like uncomfortable out of the whole fucking movie. That one got me because I was just like, it's just gonna get everywhere. You're sideways laying there, you fucker. Like,
and he gets revenge on fucking Bozo, I guess this is, and I'm pretty sure he caused some deaths, some like inadvertent deaths.
Yes, I felt the same thing, dude. He didn't give a fuck about that like playground. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, and like even like the people that like got in that like collision, like the car collision.
Oh yeah.
Beforehand and stuff. Tyler, can you explain? Can you give us like the setup and just like overall your like kind of interpretation of the laundromat scene?
I remember I texted you about this when I saw you finished it. So it does kind of like I understand the the premise they're trying to like allude to for a second that he's just turning into this killing machine when he goes back to Sarah, thinks the blind girl, he's like, I'm killing people. And when he walks into the laundromat and there's the short lady that he just inexplicably just murders without like any context.
I was so
And then like
confused.
the next minute they're like, well, she was involved with human trafficking. The way he killed this random lady,
But
it
like
just so happened that she was actually a shitty person.
in the movie, like wasn't there like some type of quote, kind of like a narrator of like saying that he only kills evil or something along the lines of that? So that was like the
There's the
only context you would have at all of like, oh, he's just kind of like towards any evil type thing.
there's this the scientist guy who's like doing the like shit, I think it's with the mayor, maybe just something to a bunch of people, and the scientist is like, I believe he has the creature has some kind of knowledge of evil and is
Oh,
out to destroy evil.
that's what I'm thinking about.
And, yeah, I'm just like Albert Einstein looking ass.
Yeah, just guessing. That's like literally
I
the
love
only context. Then
I love when the lady's in the dryer and you just see her spinning.
And then whenever the guy comes back in, he's like, Mrs. So and so, you know you're not allowed back there on the machine.
she's just face planted on the fucking.
She's dead. And he's just like, what are you doing? Yo, I won't lie though, the Toxic Avenger figure goes kind of hard, and the
It
more we
does.
talk about it, the more we talk about it, the
does.
more I watch it again.
There was
Kind of want to get the Blu-ray.
there was like this one too. I'm sorry, viewers or listeners. Focus, damn you, focus.
The green one,
The
yeah.
green one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I seem very autistic right now, but I'm just look at my photo. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. They look pretty cool.
There's also a Toxic Avenger TV show
Is there?
on Prime. It's an animated
Oh, there
show.
It might be
is.
what the green one is from,
Yeah.
maybe.
That probably is. Yeah, I remember that. I've never watched it though, but I have seen like clips. But like it's cool, but it's like originally $70. So
Kind of
that's
expensive.
kind of an expensive fucking. I think it is from the cartoon because there's like a goofy character with him.
There's a musical.
What the
Mhm.
fuck?
We're learning all the lore.
It's on Walmart.com.
Boys, this is we're gonna change our name to Toxie's Dungeon.
Toxic's Waste.
Ooh,
Ooh.
ooh,
Ooh.
that was a good one.
And basically to wrap up the movie, they're trying to put a hit out on him and trying to kill him, and then by the end they're in a fucking tent and they're just hanging out, and the mayor wants everybody to kill him, and everybody's like, no, he's done too much good for us. And everybody like stands down except for the mayor, and he rips out his guts, and everybody applauds.
Was
Very.
it
Go ahead.
to the officer? He says like, "Officer, take this trash out,"
Yeah, such cringy fucking thing.
or something like that.
And the end kind of reminded me of Rocky just for like a second, because he was like, the girl was like, Mel, and he was like, Sarah.
Dude, it fucking kills me that. So like the what personally I thought the first half of the movie was way better than the later half because it was just like this is Toxie's place. This is them in a relationship. What the fuck is going on at this later half of this movie? I am so confused of why there's so many jump cuts. I was just like this it felt so rushed of like let's tie this shit up now. Like
Yeah.
When they're in the tent waiting to get ambushed by the military, they're literally like 20 feet away from their tent, and they're just in the tent, probably like there's totally not an entire army outside ready to shoot me down the moment I walk outside.
There's like a tank. There's a tank that rolled up to this, like, I would say campground, but it's like just like a field.
Jesus Christ, dude, this movie is something. It reminds me of like the violence and stuff. It reminds me of like Adult Swim, like Super Jail. Just there's so much like chaotic violence and comedy to it.
It kind of like gave me like Terrifier a little bit.
Like I said, I thought this was like the '80s Terrifier. That, you know what I mean, like the first thing that I could think of.
Yeah.
Trust me how much it is on VHS.
Like people were scared of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre for being violent back in the day, but yet this
Yeah.
exists. This was like the original brain rot.
Yeah, dude,
It's
it
like-
is.
Yeah.
Lock.
It is straight up brain rot, and it's I understand why it's a cult classic. I really do. Definitely not what I was thinking it was originally when like I've seen Toxic Avenger around. Like you'll see like random, like the Walmart exclusive figure when they had the horror little PDQ out, and they have like
Mhm.
another figure now. I don't know the character, but it's not Toxic. I definitely saw like people were definitely it's a cult classic, but I didn't know how campy and cringy it was beforehand.
Well,
It's definitely one that-
one thing I didn't anticipate is just actually how violent it was. I thought it was just going to kind of be leaning more into like kind of like the comedy or action aspect, and it was definitely like, I mean, just as far as like the gore and
Mm.
stuff, and just like I get like again the action scenes were really well done. I feel like the hand to hand stuff was like funny, and it had like good moments and stuff.
So, what is y'all's theory? And you might know more than I do because I don't really know much about this character. So, do you think like this transformation? So, do you think Melvin died and like kind of in that process and just became like a new form of person? Obviously, like mentality wise, because he's not super smart, but he's smart now and he's very like elegant. So he definitely feels like a completely different person, or like he evolved in a certain way.
I feel like maybe, which it's funny theorizing on Toxic Avenger.
I know.
But I mean, I feel like just based on what was happening, it seems like, he is able to remember his mom
Mhm.
and the people that had done him wrong. So kind of seems like the toxic waste kind of just like morphed him into like kind of to his full potential and kind of to where he's just like, getting some ass and is like super strong and stuff. So
It's wild that the first movie, he's straight up slinging dick.
slinging
That's-
dick, yeah. I mentioned it to my dad. I was like, "Yeah, we're covering Toxic Avenger this week," and he was like, "Oh yeah, he got some in that first movie." And I was like, "Yes, that's actually incredible that you recalled that." Yes,
That's the plot of this movie.
Basically,
essentially.
yeah.
Chad, what were you gonna give it out of 5 stars? I haven't seen your rating yet.
Probably either 2.5 or 3.
Ooh.
I haven't posted it yet, but I plan to after
Nice.
this. So
I don't know. It's just like it had that perfect amount of cheese for me. I was close to giving it 4. I was
Whoa.
3.5 to 4. I
Whoa.
know. But
Whoa.
I was like, I can't have this on the same level as like some really solid movies that are like 4 stars. So the 3.5, that was where I was sitting.
Yeah. My bicep keeps twitching. I'm dying. Jesus Christ.
Mm,
I should just give it a 5, honestly.
honestly.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
I'm being like super critical, but I mean, like I gave it a 2.5. So
Go watch it, viewers. It is a very fun, silly, goofy time.
yeah, it's worth the watch just if you want to kind of sit back and kill a couple brain cells. I guess it is
Yes.
very
Then,
very strange movie.
then after you watch it, tell somebody else to watch it, and then see the reaction from watching it.
Yeah, like what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yes.
Fuck.
All right. Clip this. I have a surprise.
Oh no.
I have a new pickup.
Good big old dildo.
No,
Aw.
close.
Oh, what the fuck, dude?
Got the second
No.
stint, got the second skin still on it. I got this Saturday,
That's
and
dope.
I've been holding out because I wanted to surprise you on the pod.
What the fuck? Dude, that is nuts. That's nuts. Dude, you gotta take some like fucking photos. I'll post that around. That's sick.
I'll send I had them take a picture like right after I got it done, and I was gonna send it and have you pull it up, but I was just like, fuck it. I'm surprised you haven't seen it because I've like fucking moved my arm up so many times and I'm like
I didn't know. What did she change up on it? Just out of curiosity.
we just done it black and gray.
Okay.
That's the only thing. We done it black and gray.
Dude, that is
And
dope as fuck. Hers looked a
yes.
lot better than what I drew, but that's fucking dope.
But yes.
Oh, brother. I'm gonna fuck you right now, bro.
I was gonna say that's the new pickup, and I've been excited to show.
That is sick as fuck. I'll post it. I'm not gonna say like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna say I did it, but I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, I told her I was gonna clip it and send it to her because she like had mentioned the podcast whenever we were doing it, and she was like, "Hey, how's the podcast going?" I was like, "Funny you should mention that, my boy. Whip this up."
Fuck yeah.
So came full circle.
I feel like such a poser because like honestly, like when I post these things and like it's so cool that you got it, but I feel like such a poser when I'm like putting flash pieces up because I know it doesn't seem like an actual like tattoo like artist type thing because I don't have like a gun or anything, but that's super fucking cool that you did that.
I mean, dude, like half the accounts I follow strictly just for like their like flash and their like stencils and shit. So like
That's
by all
sick.
means it definitely is.
That's awesome. Yeah, she did a fucking killer job. That's awesome.
Yes. But yes, I've been excited to share that, and I think we should all take our pants off.
Mine already off, so
I'm gonna be looking at that all night now.
Are they really?
Tyler's going into oblivion.
Okay, so into news as Tyler again fades into nothingness. Incredible. Since the last time we recorded, there was the casting announcements for Avengers Doomsday. And first of all, what a self-indulgent, just like way too long of a stream. I was keeping updated on the stream from Chad in the Discord chat. And the couple of times I thought I got one on you, you had already sent it, and I'm like,
Yep.
holy shit.
I had it up because like they started at like noon, and I
Mhm.
could just set it like right beside me because I had nothing like to do really at work that day. I was
So
just
you would just
other stuff.
occasionally glance up.
Yeah, so I had like it was every like 15 minutes one would go off. So I had a timer set for every 14 minutes, and then I could get there and look. So
Oh shit.
and then I just got to a point where I was like, I'll just keep checking Twitter because I followed a Twitter account that kept posting it. So as soon as they said it, I could jump on that.
So, very interested in your all's thoughts on this Fox, lack for a better word, is just this Fox X-Men fucking Avengers cast. I mean, we're getting Alan Cumming back as Nightcrawler. Like, we're getting fucking 80-year-old Ian McKellen and fucking Patrick Stewart. Like, what is going on? What is your all's opinions?
I think it's cool, but at the same way, I feel like I need to know what the plot more so is going to be. Because some of these, like, for example, like Nightcrawler or Mystique, it's kind of like, why specifically these more minor characters
Mm-hmm.
compared to like announcing Hugh Jackman or well, not James Marsters, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of like the more like
Rogue, and then
random
like the lady that played
characters.
Storm, and like kind of those like weren't announced.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So very odd for me, but
I do think it's odd. I was talking to my buddy Mark. Shout out Mark. Um, I was kind of hesitant because it just seems like it's kind of like a fan service type of casting and ploy to get people to watch. But if it does kind of go into the way of like Secret Wars and where they can kind of like reboot, however they could reboot, some of these characters and, of course not like these newer ones like Sam Wilson as Cap and like Shang-Chi and these newer Avengers that they're implementing. But it'd be interesting to see how they could kind of like introduce like newer heroes, or they could introduce like newer elements into the world. Like say if they could like have like Moon Knight or Blade or what have you be like actual main like boots to the ground villain or heroes, and like the villains that they can face and stuff. So I don't know. It'd be cool in like a kind of like a reboot kind of aspect if they do end up going that route, but that's the big if. Um, I don't know. It does just seem odd to kind of have all these legacy characters and it not kind of like they just go back to their universe. Like, why not just really just fucking hit the reset button and kind of just you can keep those main central characters that you've built up like the past like phase or so, but some of these older ones that aren't really as prevalent or around, why not?
I think what they'll probably do, this is just my theory, is Doctor Doom from that universe, wherever the X-Men will be coming from, will not wipe out all of them, but will wipe out a lot of them, and it'll just be kind of like a fan service, like, oh, we got Nightcrawler back, but he dies fighting Doom, or
Hmm.
something like that. Because I don't know if y'all have watched Captain Marvel 2. I don't know if y'all have seen the post-credit scene for that.
I
Oh,
know it involves
I think
an
they'll
X-Men
somehow,
character.
I think they'll find a way to pretty much bridge that gap, and then some of the surviving X-Men will flee to the main timeline.
Mr. Beast.
Doom will follow him pretty much right behind. That's how they team up, and we go from
There,
there.
there was an article. I don't know who said it. Maybe it was like one of the Russo brothers, but they were saying that there will be like a risk with the movie, like of within the story of there will be deaths, and it's not reversible. So they could clean house, doing this shit. And they separated Tom Holland, so he's doing. But his movie, that I've seen articles wise say that it does have something to do with Doomsday, but it's a separate thing. So
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I mean, it's a good way. Like if you're going to like kind of do something like Doomsday, and then whatever the next one is, and Secret Wars. Secret Wars kind of like clean slates in a way, but it's a weird one. I can't really remember exactly how they did it, but that would be a good way to bring in Miles. Could be a good way to bring in Venom
Mm,
and all these other characters that
yes.
we're missing out on. Hulk. I mean, like I know that's like a rights type thing, but if you want to clean slate it because you got such a big storyline that's going for like 20 years, this is a good way to just all right, we're stopping it here. This is kind of like a new story, same kind of actors if you really want to. New ones brought in. I mean, it's right there.
And you've made billions and billions of dollars with fucking Avengers movies the past, again, 20 years. Like, you're seeing the shit that DC's doing. Like, it's cool that they're actually, like, starting to focus on other characters aside from, like, Batman and, I mean, kind of Superman, but they're going with, like, more like a traditional Superman, and they're doing the Lantern show with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and they're going to be doing stuff with other kind of not as hit upon characters. Like Hawkgirl is going to be in the Superman movie, and and others as well.
Mr. Terrific.
I keep wanting to say Mr. fucking Fantastic. I'm so fucking cooked.
And Guy
And then you got
Gardner.
yeah. Yeah, so like it's Marvel has had so much fucking greedy success like nothing the past 20 years. Like why can't they focus more on on some more characters that don't get as much of a spotlight? Like I saw this tweet earlier where someone was like, I miss when characters like Ghost Rider and uh and Hulk and other characters just got like their own films. Just like these kind of like more minor characters in the grand scheme of like the MCU, like actually being able to have like their own like stories and stuff, aside from the series, which, there's those, but either way, I think it'd be cool, like especially if they took like a play out of like DC's book where they can kind of like expand the universe more and make it kind of to where there's, more singular kind of stories.
I agree because I mean you have like it feels like just like the set of characters that are the Avengers, and then you have like a couple of little ones that are outside of it, and then you do have the series. But the series are hit or miss sometimes. Like you got the Luke Cage one that kind of flopped, and then you had Iron Fist that majorly flopped, and then Defenders, which I didn't watch it, so I don't know how that went. So like that small batch of characters, some of them, they're surviving. Like Daredevil, he's fucking better than ever now, it seems. But the deal with Hulk, man, like if Marvel doesn't get their shit together and either buy the rights or do something, make some type of deal to get him on the big screen again, you're just that's such a big loss because the way they've treated that character is just went downhill. Like there's some, you know, versions of him that is really cool, like Ragnarok kind of. Um, and Avenger is obviously like the main Hulk that you fucking know, but other than that, you have these characters like Moon Knight. Like it's 50-50 with people. They either love it or they hate it. But they're doing season 2, so that's a good thing. Maybe they can do better. But now you got Blade. Like you think this guy should have a fucking movie. It should be easy. We don't need to have all these strings attached to it just to make sense within this universe. We don't need it. We just need a story that's good. And you say that it's in the MCU. I don't need to know like the Easter egg behind why this fucking armor is in the background.
And that's what would be, I feel like, a really good point if, they were to do kind of this universe reboot, is you can go back to these like kind of singular stories for like, like the early kind of like phases, however they would do that. You could have like Blade, you could have um fucking Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood type shit. Miles Morales, I mean, I don't know.
What's
It begs
great?
an interesting question.
What's It feels crazy to me that there was an article also, which I don't know. Like some of them seem like reliable and some don't. So I don't hold my word to this. But like they were saying that Tom's movie, he's going to get a new suit again. It's like, why do we need to jump to another new suit when we just got teased with a good suit? It's just like we just had that one shown off. Unless like there's a bunch of battle damage or something. Unless you
Mhm.
want to go even more traditional, like he's losing all the tech. Well, he did lose all his tech, so I don't know.
Well, and we can kind of piggyback this topic before we wrap up on the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man film that was announced. What's it called, Chad? A Brand New Day?
Brand new day.
Yeah. So Tom Holland was quoted that that there is the massive cliffhanger at the end of No Way Home, and that Spider-Man Brand New Day is a fresh start. So I think that'd be very cool. Like I want to see villains that haven't been touched upon. There's like villains like Scorpion that were kind of like alluded to, and I don't know. I just feel like in Avery, you mentioning like Miles earlier, I kind of kind of didn't think about that, but like even for like that kind of trilogy, they could do something where they like introduce like Miles, and I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, I don't know how you all feel, but I feel like there's like a lot of different ways you could go with this new trilogy where it is kind of more like a neighborhood oriented, just New York oriented Spider-Man.
I think it'd be kind of cool to see if they can just reference like the apartments that Tom Holland's living in. Like, oh, the Moraleses are next door or upstairs or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yes.
to like throw them in there to remind us that they're there. And if they want to wait till like his 5th movie or something to introduce him, where he's teaching Miles how to become Spider-Man, and then the 6th movie they're together. If they want to pull everything together with Toby, Andrew, if we ever get to see Beyond the Spider-Verse animated,
Oh yeah,
we'll
right.
see.
I'm gonna be fucking 50 years old by the time that shit comes out, dude. I swear to God.
They said 2027. So we're getting
27 is freaking wild, dude. It is wild. Like, I mean,
Bro,
they
how old are you
scrapped
gonna
it.
be in 27? How old are all you fuckers gonna be in 27?
27.
I am
28.
going to be 27, and then I'm gonna be 29, brother.
Okay, okay, so that's not as far as I thought it was. I was expecting you all to be like, I'm gonna be like 36 years old.
I'm gonna feel it, bro.
Same.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I like the idea of them being like in the apartment, but I think it would be really cool if he just happened to be in the same apartment complex that Miles' uncle is. He returns with that, and then he meets Miles by Miles, like how they do in like the comics and the movies. Is his dad doesn't like his uncle because of his bad ways and bad habits. So
Mhm.
Miles comes there, and that also because of in the comics, Prowler stole one of the spiders. I'm pretty sure that bit Miles. So that would be a good thing to be like. That's where he gets bit. That's how they fucking meet.
Bro, and they had Donald Glover for one fucking movie. They had him in Homecoming as, I'm pretty sure, as Aaron Davis in that, and then he was like referenced in
Well,
Across the Spider-Verse.
what was was it was it in the animation where it showed him like full body, like in the armor and everything? Okay. As
Yeah,
Prowler.
yeah. Him live action in the Across the Spider-Verse, it had him in the armor and stuff.
Man,
So
they
yeah.
could just do a movie. I mean, that could set it up too. Just make a movie about him, the Prowler, and then leave it at the end to show Miles, and then let's fucking have the spider scurry off. I don't freaking know. Have Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn, in it some way, some capacity. Like, where are they at? If this is a brand new day, which the comic, I'm pretty sure is controversial because it was not well received. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It was more received better because it was after the whole One More Day thing,
One More Day is
where
what
he
I'm
sold
thinking
his
about.
soul to Mephisto.
One More Day.
In Brand New Day, I'll be curious how like close they follow it, but they do introduce Harry Osborn again, and he's like one of the main people in the comic run. So
Yeah.
I would be very curious. They also like one of the main villains in that run too is Mr. Negative. Kind of hope we could see that too, because I'd like to see the whole Feast Foundation and them kind of roll with that like the games did.
I did not. I
So that's
forgot.
Amazing Spider-Man, right? That's not Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing. Okay.
I forgot about that. I forgot it was called One More Day. That was the one that I was confusing it with.
There's
Well, I
also
was thinking of that as well.
I know they there was like a casting call for the movie, and they wanted like a 20-year-old that was like a energetic, angsty kind of like teenager, and then they also wanted some like 30 to 50-year-old lady in the movie. And I know another one of the main villains is like a ripoff of Green Goblin. I think its name's like Menace or something.
Yeah, he's like he kind of looks like he got horns and he's pale with like red skin.
I think it's a her.
Is it? Oh yeah, yeah. It's
But
been
I'm
such a
wondering,
long
yeah,
time.
I'm wondering if they'll play where Tom Holland will kind of see the whole Harry Osborn thing, kind of remember that from No Way Home, and then think that it's him flying around the city, but it's actually someone else. They could play something with that if they wanted, but
I think it'd be cool if they like brought in like a new love interest, like a Gwen Stacy or like a Betsy Brandt or something like that.
the one girl from Stranger Things is supposed to be in it, Sadie something.
The
Sadie
redhead.
Sink, yeah.
She's supposed to be in the movie, so
I do kind of wish that he kind of just settles and he's like, well, the past is the past now, fresh start, kind of type thing. Maybe like he's reluctant about moving on, but like,
Yeah, but it's Marvel, so
And Marvel, meh.
Tyler, what would you hope to see from like a new trilogy and like kind of like new kind of propositions with it?
Pretty much what's already been talked about with regarding more of like your neighborhood grounded story. I don't want to see too much huge world bending story points. Well, if I just
Hmm.
compare it to the other Spider-Man movie franchises, granted it was before the time of having big interconnected cinematic universes, but they all felt very minimal in the grand scheme of everything. So you get Tom Holland's 3 standalone movies are all like, I wouldn't say the first 2 are necessarily like huge events, but you have Stark technology, you have
Hmm.
traveling across the globe. This third one is multiverse extravaganza. So I don't know. I just want to see just Peter on his own, really, just having to learn how to not rely on Stark.
And I want to see your Peter.
Come over.
All right. Well, if that's any indication on when to sign off, I think that is it. Anything left to say?
Subscribe. We're like
Yeah.
on the verge of 30, like 1 subscriber away from 30.
Come on, one of you motherfuckers, take your mom's phone or take your girlfriend's phone, take your sister's phone, and just fucking get us a 30. Come the fuck on now.
Yeah, we need to get to 30 and 100 and then more because we're greedy.
Yes.
Get on your boss's phone.
Yes.
We're gonna overtake Mr. Beast.
Facts. I dropped a new short film this past weekend on single reels. It's called The Hag. It's 2 minutes. You should go check it out. It is, like I said, on the single reels YouTube, and it's also on Letterboxd. So make sure to check that out.
Yeah. Yeah. The hag. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Check it out. Subscribe, you bastards, because we need it. Subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to this channel. Because you get weekly content. We say it every week. You get a podcast. You get clips. You get bloopers. You get funny moments. You get effort in both channels. It's worth it. Just give it some time. We'll only get better.